This is WILT Week 51, and similar to Area 51, I talk about this on Facebook, and people show interest in it, but then when it actually comes down to it, no one actually goes and checks it out. Today is Monday, February 11th, and today I learned that I'll never feel fast when I'm riding my bike ever again. I don't know if whoever is watching this right now, if you've ever learned how to drive, but when I first started driving, anytime I would get anywhere like above 20 miles per hour, I would kind of be like, okay, I'm toying with death. But now when I drive my car, it's been like 2 years since I learned how to drive a car, and if I'm going 40, I feel like I'm going slow. Even though 40 is the speed limit, I still feel like, okay, I could definitely be going faster. And I think I've reached that point on my bike. I've known how to ride a bike, but it wasn't until I came to Davis that I actually was, riding a bike regularly. And now that I'm like a year and a half into riding a bike, like pretty much every day, the bike doesn't feel like it's going that fast. Like when I'm riding it, I feel like I could be going so much faster. But when I first started riding the bike like 18 months ago, anytime the pedals would just move a little bit, I'd be like, okay. That's good enough for me. And it's not like I'm feeling slower because I'm going slower. I'm definitely going like faster because I'm like going past people. Or what if everyone else is super slow now? And I am actually getting slower because they're also getting progressively slow. That's a movie right there. If you want that one, you can have it. I don't think it's gonna take you anywhere. Like the entire world together is slowing down and then you're slowing down a little bit. Yeah, no, there's no future of that movie. Just, if you're thinking about doing it, just scrap it. Just scrap it right now. So yes, in conclusion, I feel like I'll never be able to, feel like I'm going fast on my bike again because I've just gotten used to that 40 miles per hour, Whatever the equivalent of 40 miles per hour on a bike is, now feels like a crawl. It doesn't feel like it's going that fast. But I guess that shows how great my bike prowess is now because I can just be zooming around the streets, not giving a shit. Bars. You can steal that bar. Don't steal the movie idea. That one, definitely leave that one behind. That's in all of our best interest. It's a bad idea. Today is Tuesday, February 12th, and today I learned that the classroom where I have my engineering class has these giant fans. This is gonna be the first and hopefully only time I say this on camera, but take a look at these bad boys. Look at these fans. Look how big they are. Like, I kind of moved the camera down so you could see how small people look next to them, but like most things I try with the camera, I don't think it worked out. But we're in our 6th week of school, and this is the first time I noticed that these giant fans are just above us. And whenever there's something just gigantic above your head, okay, hopefully that's the only time I say that on camera too. But whenever there's something giant above your head, you always wonder, what if that thing what if it just falls? So now I sit completely on the sides of the class because that thing is definitely not going to take me victim. So yes, today I learned that we have 2 giant fans in our English class. I gotta tell you what, they're the only big fans of that class. Because the class sucks. No joke there, purely facts. Well, actually the fan part was the joke, so hopefully you laughed at that. But the part about the class sucking, no laughing matter there, people. Nothing but straight facts as far as that goes, tell you what. Today is Wednesday, February 13th, and today I learned that I need new shoes. Today it was very rainy outside. Davis looked like this. Well, that's not what all of Davis looks like, that's just the campus. Yeah. Imagine that. Davis isn't just college. It's also a real-life city that people live in. I did not know that coming here. Big culture shock, I tell you what. What's that culture, you ask? Just Davis. Regardless of where I was in Davis, my shoes were acting like little black sponges. It seemed like wherever I was walking, if there was water within like 10 feet of me, my shoes instantly just got soaked up. I mean, it didn't help that the ground everywhere looked like this. Yeah, pretty much today Davis was rain, dirt, and bikes, which is actually a really good 3-word description of Davis. So as the day progressed, my little sponges on my feet just got wetter and wetter, and it made me realize that I need new shoes, because if I had new shoes, I wouldn't actually wear them in the rain. You know what? I'm I'm actually rethinking this whole thing. I don't need new shoes, I need rain shoes, which I actually already have. Yeah, so I guess I didn't learn anything today. I guess what I learned is don't go out in the rain in your nice everyday shoes. What? Am I like 1 year old? Have I not seen rain before? Apparently, I don't know that rain makes things wet. So if you're in that boat with me, I'm so sorry. Something's clearly wrong up here. So seek medical help. Maybe take some cognitive exams because we got to get this figured out, man. Okay? We didn't know that water made things wet. We're in some deep trouble, okay? Today is Thursday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, and you're probably thinking what I learned today was something probably pretty romantic, pretty hot, pretty spicy. You're kind of right. Today I learned what the factorial of 0 is. Yeah, told you it'd be nice and spicy. Doesn't get much more romantic than math, according to every math professor out there. Every professor likes to claim that their subject is like the most important one to learn, which, I mean, obviously someone's lying there, right? You can't all have the subject to learn, you know? There can only be one. Well, no, you could probably like need a bunch of them, but you can't need all of them, you know? But I feel like math professors are the ones that are always talking about it. Like, I don't think you'll ever hear a science teacher be like, oh, we're the most important. You should learn us because of A, B, and C. But it seems like every math professor has to prove to you that, yeah, you need to learn math, okay? Don't ask the question. You need to do it. It's almost like someone that's insecure about something and then they like overcompensate because they're insecure about it. It's like math professors. We get it, okay? It's important. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic. The factorial of 0. Now, if you don't know what a factorial is, it's just the number multiplied by all of the numbers before it up to 1. So like 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. 10 factorial is 10 to 1, just the product of all of those numbers. And if I go any higher than that, I will take some level of editing that I don't want to do. So you're probably like, oh, 0 factorial is just 0. Well, I looked it up and the factorial of 0 is 1. Yeah, I don't know either. There were like long explanations of why this was the case, but I didn't need that to do my homework problem, so I didn't read it. And that's what you learn in school. Just get enough information to get the right answer and forget everything else. So yes, the factorial of 0 is 1. And math wonders why it's like the most hated topic. When you do stupid stuff like this, what do you expect to happen? Do you think people are going to be like, oh yeah, math is awesome. Did you know the factorial of 0 is obviously 1? Okay, bad example, sorry. But math has all these silly rules and little, you know, don't know what that was. Like these little things that you need to remember. Okay, no, like all of these little things that you need to remember, and it's just, you know, a big turnoff. Math is so high maintenance that, you know what, I don't expect anyone to like it. That being said, math is my favorite subject, but what can I say? I guess I love a little challenge, you know? Okay, it's Valentine's Day and I'm talking about numbers, but what can I say? Math is a 9 out of 10, and I guess I'm the one it needs. Don't ever use that, please. For both of our sakes, that should stay locked in the closet, okay? Just lock that one up. Today is Friday, February 15th, and today I learned that my professor has had enough. There's a class that I'm in, and we use this thing called Piazza. Piazza is like a discussion board that you can use for your class. If you're in college, you probably know what it is. And our professor was getting upset that people were posting just entire blocks of code. This is programming code, by the way, just so we're on the same page. I don't know what other code I would be talking about. Oh, right, it wouldn't be Morse code. So, if you were thinking of Morse code, it's not that. So yeah, students were posting entire programming blocks of code. So in class one day, he was like, hey, you guys gotta stop doing that, okay? That's bad, because then other people see your code and they can use the scraps from that and basically plagiarize. Even if your code is not completely right, they can pick the right parts from it and then they get an unfair advantage that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So in class, our professor was like, hey, stop that. Well, apparently people kept doing it. So our professor did what any professor would do in that situation. He was like, hey guys, stop. I'm going to be monitoring it. If it gets posted, I'll delete it and I'll send you a message to be like, hey, don't do that, and we'll move forward. That's what my professor would do. if he was a good professor. Instead, he was like, okay, no, that's it. We're just taking all of Piazza away. No more Piazza. I think the best part about this story is that I don't even think he is on Piazza, because in his message to us, he was like, it's been brought to my attention that this has been happening, which means it wasn't like he was paying attention, it was brought to his attention, which means either a TA or a student was like, hey, professor, this is happening. So that's the first great part of the story. He wasn't even seeing it on Piazza. People were telling him, hey, this is on Piazza. The second best part is how he dealt with it. This reminds me of a terrible parent that doesn't know how to parent, so he's just like, okay, I don't know what to do, so let's just get rid of all of it. Like if two kids are fighting over a toy, the bad parent would be like, okay, you know what, that's it. I don't know what to do, so just no toy, okay? Whereas I feel like a good parent would kind of sit down with the kids, negotiate, be like, hey, what's the problem? What's going on here? This is how we'll move forward. So that's the second funny part about the story, how he dealt with this issue. The best part is I know there's better ways to deal with this issue, because I've been in programming classes where this has happened too. Actually, it always happens in programming classes, because students have questions about their code. They post the code, they're like, hey, what am I doing wrong? And then the professor's like, oh my God, stop. Don't post your entire code, you silly Billy. No, they don't say silly Billy. That is... No one says that in college. But in all my past classes, the professor just like monitors Piazza regularly to answer questions, as I think good professors do. And if they see giant blocks of code posted, they just delete it and they're like, hey, make sure you don't do that again. Oh, also, our professor is like finding these kids that posted entire chunks of code, and I think he's like reporting them to like the judicial student affairs or something. Yeah, the students' judicial affairs. They're the people that deal with kids that plagiarize. This is intense. I can't imagine if this professor's kids like got in an argument over what show they should watch. Like, let's say Billy and Susie, his kids that I just made up. I don't know if he has kids. But let's say Billy wants to watch Disney Channel and Susie... Was Susie the name I gave her? Well, if not, she's Susie now. So Billy wants to watch Disney Channel and Susie wants to watch Nickelodeon, and they start fighting. I can only imagine that this professor, as their dad, would step in and be like, okay, you know what? You guys are arguing? That's it. Throw the TV away. I can't even imagine what he would do. Actually, he would throw the TV away and then report the kids to their mother. He would go to his wife and be like, honey, the kids are just being so difficult. I don't want to parent, so take care of them for me. Oh man, this is just a weird situation. But today I learned that my professor has had enough. So yeah, that was WILT Week 51. Thank you so much for watching, Gabe. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed. And this week's question is, what's the worst experience you've ever had with a teacher? Teachers are trying their best, and they have my utmost respect. They also have summer breaks, so I guess they're winning in every category. But even though teachers are trying their best, you know, sometimes you come across a bad apple. A teacher that probably shouldn't have gone into teaching or adulthood. And so after this week's experience, I'm curious, have you ever had a bad experience with a teacher? Well, you have. You must have. So yes, thank you so much for watching again. Make sure you comment down below what's the worst experience you've ever had with a teacher. Eat sweet and savory, and I'll see you next time for WILT Week 52.